We're at the 10-minute mark. We should be okay. Moving right along. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my channel. My name's Eric. We are going to talk about some things about my last Walt Disney World trip today. So if that is your thing, then make sure you subscribe to my channel because I post content about Disney all the time. Disney merch, my trips to Walt Disney World, just various things Disney related. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter too because I post photos there from those trips and you might want to check out some of my humor in my stories. I don't know. I think I'm a funny person. I try to make you laugh. I think it's worthwhile. Anyway, that is not why you clicked on this video. I wanted to talk about character meet and greets for my last trip today, and that's why I have my autograph books here. So it's something new. I haven't done this before, but before we get into the actual weekly vlogs, because last week we did the haul video where you saw that I got these two books, and next week I will do my first day of my vlogs, which was, what was it now? It was Magic Kingdom at Epcot. So you'll get some of that and some sense of what I did while I was down there. But before we did that, I wanted to go over the character meet and greets and share with you a way that I kind of find that Disney depression. If you watched my video last week, then you heard me talk about the Disney depression phase. And I think it's very common, but when you leave Walt Disney World, you kind of have like this mopiness about you. It's just the magic's gone, right? You've left this experience that was a lot of fun, and it was vacation, just got to get away, and now you're back to reality and you're back to work. But one of the ways that I fight that is by printing off my photos from my meet and greet experiences and filling them out in my autograph book. So I thought we'd take a look at that and go over some of the experiences I had, because in my vlogs, I don't really talk about what I thought about the character meet and greets. Now, I will say, if you want to see the interactions on these meet and greets, be sure to subscribe because I'll do those in my vlog. This is just me kind of going over and giving you a rundown of my impressions of the meet and greets and what I remember from those experiences. Let's get started because I filled 2 books, so we've got a few to go through here. And this should be book 1. That's right. Okay. So my first experience that I had was with Mickey and Minnie in their 90th confetti outfits. This was really great. I did this on the first day when I got there because I went during Festival of Fantasy and there is usually not that long of a line. So even though I didn't have a fast pass, because they are very popular right now in their outfits and it is Mickey and Minnie in Town Square, I went and did that and got in pretty quick. I think I waited about 20 minutes. Not terrible. So yeah, got them. And so this is in Magic Kingdom. Now, while I was waiting for Festival of Fantasy to pass, because they had brought the Maleficent float back and I hadn't seen it yet, I didn't want to see it until I saw the whole parade, which was later in my trip, I did go meet Tinkerbell. Got that there. And she was a lot of fun. She does interact, which is funny to me because I'm more of a Peter Pan Tinkerbell fan, where she doesn't talk. But this Tinkerbell is more like the Pixie Hollow Tinkerbell movies Tinkerbells, I guess. She does talk. She was a lot of fun. I was the last one she was meeting for that time, and yeah, so we're gonna stick that in here. It was kind of funny because there was a guy in line who thought it was a bar, and he's like, this isn't a bar. I'm like, no, this is a meet and greet with Tinkerbell. So yeah, that was a fun experience. He walked out. He didn't wait. I waited to meet Tinkerbell. Okay, so not all my photos printed now that I've checked it out. I don't know what happened. The first 4 didn't print from Target when I went to the one that had the kiosk. But anyway, I met Abby Mallard. She is one of the lost friends that is in Town Square. And I did meet Chicken Little, but I didn't get his signature because in the afternoon after Festival of Fantasy, they are roaming and Chicken Little doesn't like to stop. So I got a selfie with them. So that was all I met the first day. I didn't meet anyone else at Epcot that night because it was Festival of the Arts and I did some Festival of Arts stuff. So I didn't do any more character meet and greets. The next day I went to Animal Kingdom in the morning and I started out by meeting Mickey and Minnie, which this is a year-round place where you can meet Mickey and Minnie together, which is fun, and they're in their safari gear. You can fast pass it or try and catch it in the right time, like when they first get there, because it does get to be a long line. Whenever Mickey and Minnie are together or whenever it's 2 characters together, it's always a lot longer. Later that day, I hopped over to Magic Kingdom to get the Lost Friends for that day, which were Robin Hood and Little John. So I didn't realize that they actually signed different pages. So there's Robin Hood and there is Little John's. So I actually print out 2 photos. And here's like the PhotoPass photo from me and Little John and Robin Hood. But again, the other one didn't print. So I printed out another fun one. Yeah, I really don't know what happened to that. So after that, on that day was the day that it was Monday. So it was the day after Super Bowl. So Tom Brady, and they were doing a special thing for him. While I was waiting, because I was like, I might as well just catch Festival of Fantasy because I'm there almost the time it's going to start. If the crowd clears out, if not, I was going to bounce because it was just really, really crowded that day. Snow White had no line, and Disney's first princess should never go unattended. So went met Snow White again. She's a lot of fun. She's really nice. It was a really quick meet and greet, not too long. I did meet her on my last trip. But after that, I hopped over to Hollywood Studios because I wanted to catch the Star Wars fireworks one more time, and I did some of the new meet and greets they have there. specifically Edna Mode. So you got her signature there and there. Really cool theming for the queue for her. No fast passes, but I think I waited about 20 minutes. Wasn't too bad. Really cool experience waiting for her. And a lot of fun. It's just really kind of throwback 80s. The dance party is going on. It's just a really cool area right now. But not too far from that, they have Mike and Sully where Star-Lord and Groot used to be. The photos were really bad. They're really washed out, and this is the best I could do. But they were a lot of fun to meet. They don't do autographs, so that was sad. I kind of wish the characters that don't do autographs would at least give you a card. They didn't. I don't know. And the next morning, I went and had breakfast over at the Polynesian at Ohana because I wanted to meet Lilo and Stitch. So I have a couple of those photos here, but like I said, some of them didn't print. Lilo's photo didn't print, but here you go. We've got Mickey's photo right here. Now, one of the problems with meet and greets that are dining experiences is there's not usually a photographer with all the characters. So you have to do selfie mode. Luckily, my waitress took this photo, so that was nice. And I've got Mickey's signature there. And Stitch actually skipped me, and I felt like a real heel. I asked the waitress if I could have him come back. The character attendant came and got me. I got to just jump in line because they circle around the tables and meet Stitch, and she took the photo. So that was kind of nice. So he was there, and he liked my Kingdom Hearts shirt because he is a friend of Sora. If you play those games, you know that you meet Stitch a few times. Then the last character out in the lobby area of the Polynesian, or the upper area of the Polynesian, is Pluto, and he does have a photo pass attendant. Now, I didn't get video of this because there wasn't a character attendant standing right there, but it was a very fun experience. Pluto licked me a few times, so that's what this picture is. So you can see me kind of aback, and yeah, it was just a lot of fun. He was a lot of fun to meet that day. I actually would go and see Pluto again later that day, but this one was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. It was just a really good experience. And I'm glad that photo got captured. After that, I headed over to the Magic Kingdom, and I've been waiting, but I met the evil stepsisters from Cinderella. So I met Anastasia and Drizella. They were a really cool meet and greet as well. Before that, while I was waiting, Peter Pan was just roaming, and that was kind of fun because he was playing tag with some kids, and so one of the kids fell and cried, but it was just, what makes Disney Magic really magical is that to see these characters just float about, right? Peter Pan was at the Magic Kingdom, and he was literally there. It was really cool. He was checking out the moat around the castle. That's what I love, because that's what I remember about the characters just roaming. Obviously, they don't do that now for logistics reasons. After that, I met the stepsisters, and they were a lot of fun too. I told them I couldn't afford a castle, and they said, well, that's fine, we're gonna look for someone who can afford many castles. Really cool experience. And I think they rotate in with the fairy godmother. I didn't know that at the time, so I didn't wait, and that is the end of one book. After that, I went over and did Pete's Silly Sideshow, where there was a bunch of characters, and I was one of the first lines there, which was a lot of fun. They do a kind of thing when they launch it, so I highly recommend doing that. I won't spoil it, but I got to meet Goofy, and Goofy liked that he was on my Kingdom Hearts shirt as well. And they're kind of in their circus-y gear here, so he's like a guy that gets shot out of a cannon, I believe. All right, and you can see his signature there. After that, he's paired with Donald, so the queue is Donald and Goofy, and then there's Daisy and Pluto. It used to be Minnie, but now Minnie's up in Town Square. Pluto's back there. So there is Donald, obviously being Donald and showing off like he is. And there's his signature there. After that, I did just hop over and do the Daisy and Pluto meet and greet. Daisy was a lot of fun. She's just always fabulous, so she's a lot of fun to meet because she designs a lot of the costumes, so you can talk to her about that. And then Pluto was a lot of fun because you can't really see it in the photo, but behind Pluto are a bunch of like poodle statues. And so I asked him if those were all his ladies, and he just looked at me. It was fun. I enjoyed that one a lot. I always try to think of fun conversations to have with the characters. And so sometimes I just wing it because like that one I didn't know what the backdrop was gonna be. And so that's what it was. But there is Pluto's signature again. And so the paw print's a little bit different this time, Pluto. You just didn't do the circles as big, but you know, I sign differently every time as well. After that, I did go back up front for the Lost Friends again. To my disappointment, Foulfellow wasn't there, but Gideon was there that day. I didn't know what was going on, and it was kind of a disappointment because I'm like, I don't know how long these characters are gonna be out there. I don't know if we'll be able to meet Foulfellow again. These are characters from Pinocchio. These are the guys that Pinocchio meets on his way to school. They distract him, and he goes to Stromboli after that. But Gideon was there, and that was fun because I was like, how should we pose? And he kind of like, you know, like, menacing. So that was fun because a lot of times when I ask them how they want to pose, it's pretty standard, and I'm not creative enough to come up with poses. So, and there is Gideon's signature there. Later on in that day, I went and met Aladdin and Jasmine. Now I met Jasmine and Genie at the Halloween party, but I hadn't met Aladdin before, and the line's usually pretty long. But I caught it at a good time, so I went and met them, and that is there. They're a lot of fun. They talk about the heat because it was really hot that day, and it's not hot for them, but I'm from Ohio where it's snowing and they didn't know what to do with that. And Aladdin at the end, he told me to say hi to his friend Sora. So again, just really cool when the characters are up to date on all the things going on with their character because Aladdin is in the Kingdom Hearts games. Before I hopped over to Epcot for the Broadway concert series that night, I went and dined at Tony's Town Square restaurant. And if you ask, and this is like a little known secret, they will take your book back and Tramp and Lady will stamp your book for you. And then they get a sticker. It's not a meet and greet, but I got their signatures and then I took a picture of their fountain. There's that one for you. Like I said, I hopped over to Epcot after that. I missed these guys when I was there the day before. So I went and met Vanellope and Ralph, and this was in their temporary spot. So they're in a new location now. It actually was tricky to find them, but they were a lot of fun. Ralph does not sign, but Vanellope will sign for Ralph. I guess I say all the characters are fun, but they are. They're interactive and they're unique, so it's a lot of interesting different things you can try out. That's why I started doing this. After that, and after the Broadway concert series, I went back to Magic Kingdom for Moonlight Magic that night, and I will do a more cohesive review of that event, which is Disney Vacation Club event, if you don't know. So if you have questions about that event and you want me to answer, leave them in the comments below. But Gideon and Falfallo were out, so their line wasn't that long, and I went and met them because now I actually have both of their signatures again. Overall, I was a little disappointed with the characters that were out and the lines to meet them. I was with a friend and we rode some rides, which was great, but the lines for the meet and greets were just kind of long. I'm like, I'm not waiting over an hour just to meet Meg because Pain and Panic were out right then. I don't know what was going on. And so my plans for that evening shifted dramatically when I saw the lines for it. But I did meet a few other characters, and so Prince Eric was out with Ariel, so I've never met Prince Eric, and I haven't met Ariel in her human form, so that was a lot of fun, and they were entertaining to talk to. I can't remember what we talked about, but it was fun. I think we talked about the ocean and stuff like that, I don't know. And then one of the ones that I was really excited to meet, because you don't get to meet her that often, because we don't do a lot of villains in Disney World, is the Wicked Witch, so from Snow White. Not the Evil Queen, because you meet her at a character dining experience right now, over in Wilderness Lodge, which I'm doing in May. And I kind of like her signature. It's kind of crooked and I don't know, has to be hard to write with those hands, but she did it. And she has a cauldron and she was trying to get me to eat a pretend apple. Wasn't gonna happen. So really fun experience there. I did run into a couple other characters at Moonlight Magic, so I'll just tell you about them real quick. We headed over towards a dance party and Darkwing Duck and Launchpad were out right as the fireworks started, so they stayed out for the fireworks. That was a lot of fun. I didn't ask for their autograph because when characters are roaming, I typically try not to bother them for that kind of stuff because they're not really supposed to do it and I don't want to start a line or a chain reaction. But they were out, and then Jumba and another person from the Stitch cartoon series was out, and they're very rare. And something to know, if you're going to go to these Moonlight Magic events, probably head to the dance party because it seems like they put rare characters out there. And during the fireworks, I probably could have gotten a autograph from Darkwing. Again, I don't know. I'm the path of least resistance guy. I just don't want to be that person. So then my next day, I started at Hollywood Studios, and this was my last day. So I went and met Mickey and Minnie, and they're over there, and they're not together. They're in separate rooms, but it's the same queue line. So Minnie is here, and she actually kissed me. I was told not to tell Mickey about it. So if you see Mickey, don't tell him about that. She's very fashionista in this one with her nice pink dress, and it's a lot of fun. Again, do that one early in the morning. You can fast pass it, but if you do it early in the morning while everyone's flocking to Toy Story Land, you can walk right in, which is literally what I did. Next up, I went to see Sorcerer Mickey. So this is a fun one always because he's in his sorcerer's robes here. So just a little bit different and neat experience to meet Mickey over at Hollywood Studios. And it wouldn't be a Disney trip if I didn't meet my pals Chip and Dale. They moved slightly in Hollywood Studios from their corner over to right next to where Mickey and Minnie are. So I was kind of confused and almost walked right past them, but they're over there. And I did find out that they're there because the smoking area was close to their old meet and greet and it bothered them, which I don't blame them. Good for you, Chip and Dale. Stand up. Smoking areas, Disney World, they exist. And when you walk past them, they are annoying. So just keep walking. But good for you guys. I'm glad that you guys got to move. And that got me a slightly different photo because I've met them there, I think, on every trip at this point. And then last but not least on my last page is the last long lost friends, which are Emil and Remy. So they are in Magic Kingdom, so I hopped back over there before going back to my resort to get ready to go back to the airport. And they're pretty rare. They're not out a lot. I would imagine they might start appearing more in Epcot when the Ratatouille ride comes out. But for now, they're pretty rare. You don't meet them in Walt Disney World all that often. Even at the parties, they have not been out. Put that in there. And I am done with the books. I do have one more photo because I forgot that at Hollywood Studios, I went and met Olaf again. He's a fun meet and greet. He can't do autographs. So last time they gave me a card. This time they didn't give me a card. Again, the cards are really cool. And like Buzz stamps his. I'm cool with any of that. I don't know. I just think that at this point, when there's a meet and greet, there should be something to walk away with their autograph on it. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Like I said, I'm not sure. I just thought it would be a little bit fun to go through and show you guys what characters I met and when, and give you a little bit more detail about them versus just watching me meet them on my vlog. And so now you know what to look forward to in those upcoming vlogs. So again, be sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up to let me know you were here. Leave me a comment about which character is your favorite that I met, which character do you wish to meet, have you met any of these characters? Leave a comment below. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and next week we will be back. There's no we, it's just me. Next week, I'll be back with my first vlog, which will be Magic Kingdom, and then over to Epcot. So be sure to watch out for that next Thursday, but until then, have a really magical day. Let's go over here. Come on, Eric, didn't I? I feel like not all my photos printed. It's weird.